Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2002 BMW 330 Ci. Up front is a 3.0 liter straight six and down below is a 5-speed manual transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this 330 Ci because this is a 24 hours of lemons endurance racing car. This is a legitimate race car, and so we're going to be talking about a lot of the modifications done to this vehicle, as well as what it's like to drive a gutted race car that was built on a budget, but not as small of a budget as you might think. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get down to what has changed from the factory version of this car to what it is today. Well, as you could probably tell, quite a bit. The entire interior has been gutted. Anything that might take up extra weight from the factory is gone. We don't have a radio, we don't have climate controls, we don't have side windows. And as you can tell, the interior is painted pink to remind you that you're in the belly of the beast. But the main things we'll talk about is the fact that it doesn't have any performance modifications unless you count long tube headers performance modifications. But it's factory power, but every bushing in the vehicle has been swapped out from rubber to metal. So everything in here is incredibly rigid. The rear subframe has been reinforced. That's an issue with these vehicles. It is on BC coilovers with Swift springs. It's on stickier tires. And that's pretty much it. This car was meant to be built at a somewhat budget. However, the Lemons cars are supposed to be $500. This is a $35,000, $500 car. Because of the roll cage was about $6,000. All the modifications, all of the safety equipment, this has a fire suppression system on board. So this is the most expensive, cheap car you will ever see. However, let's see how it does in a performance state. So of course, right off the bat, you immediately notice the stiffness. This vehicle is so rigid, it feels like my spine is bolted to the chassis itself because there's almost no flex in the chassis at all. Every single bump, especially when driving it out here on the road, is taken very, very personally because there's no softness, there's no sugarcoating anything. All of the sugar coating has been replaced with a full metal jacket. One thing that's funny though is that it still has the factory power steering, so the steering is light and friendly. But I assure you, the rest of the vehicle is not. It's almost oddly comfortable going fast. There's no weird beeps or squeaks anymore. It's very, very focused. It's very focused on what it's trying to do. And it corners so flat. I'm really shocked at how unbothered this vehicle is. I thought this would be a handful to drive, but it's really not. and I expected it to be. It looks like it would be a handful to drive, but it's actually very, very good. So let's get back to the drivetrain. Like I said, 3-liter straight six. This is a Vanos engine, and it has had its Vanos rebuilt. I guess you could consider that a performance mod, but that's more just what this vehicle kind of needs to live. It's one of the things that all of these E46s require. And then it does have a racing clutch. Been a little bit hard to get used to, but once you're in, you're in. And like I said, all the suspension, all that stuff's been done. Let's talk about the interior. We'll breeze through that really quickly. I do have the factory gauge cluster. I need to keep an eye on things, but about every warning light is on, which isn't necessarily that much different than every other E46 that I've driven, but something to note. Steering wheel is original, however, the airbag has been removed. And off to the left, we do have a cutoff for the vehicle, as well as we have the fire suppression system, which is always good to have on hand. The door, funny enough, the door handle is still there. And because the speaker grill is built in, I still have the Harman Kardon speaker grill, even though the Harman Kardon speaker system is long, long, long gone. We do have that roll cage. This is an SCCA approved roll cage and was by far one of the most expensive parts of this build. And moving into the center, we do have a timer, so you can time yourself on laps, as well as the fuse box is holding on for dear, dear life. No center console, no cup holder, meaning, of course, it fails the big friggin' bottle test. And we do have the factory shifter, shift knob and all. We do have the parking brake, and then we have one single bucket seat. There is no passenger seat because this is a race car, and you don't take passengers along with in your race car. We do have one interesting switch down here. It's this little unlabeled silver switch. This is actually for a cool suit. So there's a cooler next to me that you would fill with ice and ice water, and this would circulate into a cool suit to keep you cool while racing in a hot, hot environment. I don't need it here today, but that is cool to have as an option. Now, we'll talk about the looks, and this is finished to kind of look like an alligator. You know, in Lemons Racing, you try to make your car look fun and interesting. It's not super about the aerodynamics and whatnot. So normally this has big alligator arms on it, and it has the spine, and it has swamp grass coming out. This has been nicknamed Swampy for swamp ass racing. And so it's kind of fun, kind of tongue in cheek, that sort of thing. I love the paint scheme. I love that it has so much character, and it really just oozes fun, because racing at the end of the day should be fun, and it does look that way. These are the factory wheels as well. And overall, I love Swampy. Swampy's just a fun vehicle. With that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving this kitted out, stripped down, dedicated race car built out of a 2002 BMW 330 Ci? Well, of course I've loved this experience. It's way better to drive, honestly, than I ever thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be this obnoxious handful that out on track works 50% of the time. The other 50% of the time, it's full of heartache and heartbreaks. But no, it actually works very, very well. It might not look dialed in, but this is dialed in. And this is an affordable way to go racing. I know, $35,000 is a lot to spend on a jalopy. But if you want to go racing, racing is an expensive hobby. Racing is an expensive sport, and so this was actually an affordable way to do it. And that's my final thoughts. This looks disheveled. This car looks like it's been to hell and back. And you know what? Through some of its endurance racing, it has. It has seen flames. It has seen fire. It has seen tears, blood, and sweat. But the thing I love about this car is that it is a race car, and it works very, very well, no matter what it looks like and how hobbled together it might be. I love a dirty race car. I love a used race car, because a used race car has seen the grit, it has seen the rubber, it has seen the track many, many times, and that is the only way that you can get better at racing, is by doing laps and laps and laps. I am not a racing driver, but with every passing lap, I can feel myself getting better. I can feel myself getting into that groove. I can learn where the car is going to step out, where the tires are going to bite, where I'm going to scrub. And you don't get to that level of a great driver without throwing down laps laps and laps and laps. And this is a rig for throwing down laps and laps and laps. This isn't a museum piece. This isn't meant to look great behind glass. This is meant to do a thing and go out there and give you the experience, to go out there and get its fingernails dirty, to sink its teeth into something. And it goes back to the saying of, I don't fear the polished katana hanging on the wall. I fear the dirty, the chipped one, the stained one, the rusty one, because I know that that one gets used. That one fulfills its purpose. And this car fulfills its purpose endlessly through lap after lap after lap. This puts its well-being on the line, and it does it all for the sake of having fun. So yes, it's dirty, it's messy, and it's hobbled together because this car actually sees tracks. This car actually gets used and abused. This car actually sees the light of day, and that's where it counts. Huge thank you to Tom for letting me borrow Swampy for today's video. I was so excited to share it with you, and I hope you enjoyed the video. But don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.